Before we dive in, if this kind of real, honest conversation about healing culture and ancestral wisdom is what you're looking for, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel. And if something I shared today opens up something for you, hit that like button. It helps more women just like you find their way here. Okay, let's get into it. Most of us have a memory like this. A relative's bedroom that felt different from the rest of the house, quieter, more sacred. A small altar on top of a dresser with a candle, a saint, something you could not quite name, but knew it mattered. My tia Mina, tia, the Spanish word for aunt, and in our culture, so much more than that, had exactly that. On top of her dresser, she kept an altarcito, a small home altar, a sacred space with the Virgin of San Juan de los Lagos, and pinned to the Virgin's gown was a tiny metal charm I had never seen before. I thought nothing of it as a child. I filed it away somewhere in the back of my memory and moved on. Until years later, when I was writing a book about luck, I started researching Mexican luck traditions, and there it was, the Milagro, and everything Tia Mina's altar had been quietly teaching me came rushing back. I am Yolanda with Frog's Little Tail. We are Healed Hearts in Action, and today I am going to tell you everything about Milagros, the tiny Mexican charm that had been healing women for centuries. Stay with me. Where Milagros come from? Milagros are one of the oldest healing traditions in Mexican culture, but here's what most people do not know. They are actually a beautiful act of syncretism, the blending of two spiritual worlds into one. When the Spanish arrived in Mexico in the 16th century, they brought with them a Catholic practice that was already ancient, the tradition of leaving small metal charms at the shrines of saints, as offerings, as prayers, as acts of devotion. This practice had roots going all the way back to the Iberians of ancient Spain, 5 centuries before the Common Era. And when this tradition arrived in Mexico, something remarkable happened. The indigenous people recognized it because they already had their own practice, their own tradition of offering gifts to the divine. These two traditions met, and from that meeting, the Milagro as we know it today was born. This is not a coincidence. That is ancestral wisdom finding its way home. The manda, how our ancestors used them. In Mexico, the traditional use of milagros was tied to something called a manda, a sacred promise or vow. Here is how it worked. If you were facing something in your life that felt impossible, an illness, a hardship, a fear, you would go to the saint you trusted most and make a petition. You would pray, you would ask for help, and you would make a promise. If this miracle is granted, I will come to your shrine. I will bring you a milagro. It will leave it as a sign of my gratitude. And if that miracle came and the faithful believed it would, that person made the pilgrimage. They pinned their milagro to the gown of the saint, or the wooden cross at the altar, or the sacred wall of the shrine, and in doing so they said, I kept my promise. I am grateful. I believe. Those charms I saw as a child pinned to the Virgin's gown on Tia Mina's dresser, those were someone's answered prayers, every single one of them. The shapes, what milagros mean. Now I want to show you some of mine. Here's a house. Here's a frog. Milagros come in many forms. Some are small and silver, pewter, metal. This is an eye. But there's nothing really precious about the metals that are used. Others are painted tin, colorful, bright folk art in the most beautiful sense. The value of a milagro was never in what it was made of. It is what is carried in it. And here is something bigger in my tracks when I learned it. Milagros are meant to be offered up and reused, recycled, And the tradition says they are actually more powerful when they have been recycled because they carry the prayers of everyone who held them before you, the answered prayers. Think about that. When you hold a milagro that has passed through others' hands, you're holding a chain of intention that stretches back through time. That is ancestral healing made physical. I also want to show you this, Milagros, a book of miracles by Helen Thompson with artwork by Patty Bruce. I own this book and it is stunning. Folk art, history, and meaning all in one place. And for those of you who want to go even deeper, the Museum of Anthropology at Wake Forest University has a beautiful scholarly page dedicated entirely to Mexican milagros. Both links are in the description below. Now the shapes. The heart. The most beloved milagro of all, it represents love, healing, emotional recovery, and self-love. Women healing from heartbreak carry the heart. Women healing from illness carry the heart. Women learning to love themselves for the first time, they carry the heart too. The eye, protection. The watchful eye is carried to ward off negative energy, jealousy, and harm. It says, I am watched over. I am protected. The hand, often called La Mano de Dios, the hand of God. This charm represents blessings, divine protection, and good fortune. You carry it when you are stepping into something new, and you want grace to go with you. The foot, it represents possibility, new paths, new journeys. The foot milagro says, I am ready to go where I have never gone before. The corn, this is one of my favorites. Milagros, and it can represent everything except money. Praying for material wealth is not part of the tradition, but our ancestors found a way. The corn milagro represents abundance and prosperity. It is the ancestral workaround, and I love them for it. Body parts, arms, legs, lungs, these are used to focus healing on a specific part of the body or to give thanks for a recovery. If your grandmother pinned a milagro of a leg to a saint, she was praying for someone's healing or her own. We are right in the middle of this, and I want to pause for just a moment. If what you are hearing today is resonating, if you are feeling that pull towards something deeper, something that connects your healing to your roots, I have several ways I can support you on that journey. I have a free 30-day journaling guide to begin your inner work. I have a workshop called Ask Better Questions, Create a Better Life that will teach you how to use the power of your own mind to create the life you were meant to live. And I offer private hypnosis sessions, a powerful modern way to set intentions at the deepest level of your mind. All of it is waiting for you in the description below. Go, take a look, and find the one that is calling you right now. Now, let's keep going. The healing connection. Milagros for you today. Here's what I want you to take from this. You do not have to be Catholic to use milagros. You do not have to be Mexican. You do not even have to be religious. What milagros give us, what they have always given us, it is the way to make our intentions physical. There is something deeply powerful about taking a hope, a prayer, a desire for healing, something that lives invisibly inside you, and giving it a form you can hold in your hand. That is what your ancestors understood. Healing is not just a mental act, it is a physical one. It is embodied. It lives in the body, in the hands, in the act of placing a tiny charm on something sacred and saying, I believe this is possible. Today, people carry milagros as jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, earrings. They place them on their altarcitos as tools for intention and prayer. They give them as gifts, chosen specifically for what the person receiving them is going through. A heart for a friend healing from grief. A hand for someone starting a new journey. A foot for the woman who is finally ready to walk a new path. I have milagros on my own altarcito. Every time I look at them, I remember I come from a people who knew how to hold their hopes in their hands. So do you. Milagros are tiny. Half an inch of metal, something less, you can hold between two fingers and barely feel its weight. But what they carry, centuries of faith, of prayer, of ancestral wisdom, of healing, that is not small at all. If you have never held a milagro, I want to invite you to find one. Go to a Mexican market, a folk art shop, search online, Amazon has them. Find the shape that speaks to what you are carrying right now. Hold it. Set your intention. Let it be a physical reminder of what you are calling in. Our ancestors understood something that modern science is only now catching up to, that intention is powerful, that what we focus on, what we hold, what we declare with faith and feeling shapes our reality. Milagros were their way of doing that. Hypnosis is mine. As a certified clinical hypnotherapist, what I do is take that same sacred act, setting a deep, powerful intention, and plant it directly into the subconscious mind, where the old stories live, where the patterns run, where real, lasting change actually happens. If you are ready to set your intention at the deepest level possible, all the information you need is in the description below. Let's have a conversation. Let's find out if hypnosis is your next step. And if you want to begin right now, my free journaling guide and my Ask Better Questions workshop are also waiting for you down below. In my next video, I'm going deeper into the ancestral tools that our culture has been quietly offering us all along, and I think it is going to open something up for you. Make sure you have subscribed so you do not miss it. Dicho y hecho. Said and done. Write your own story.